Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Uncle Slam and welcome to Pac-Man 99, our Battle Royale showcase of the marathon. Joining me on commentary I have two wonderful people, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Faxman78.
And Craig, I guess, is not back from his water break, so we'll introduce him when he gets here.
Oh, I'm back here.
Oh, lovely.
He's
I'm
back.
Craig's son of Horus.
Alright, and we are going to be showing this awesome game that is free on Nintendo Switch, so if you have an online connection with the Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend playing it. It is a very, very good game, especially considering it's free. Yeah, so we're just going to hop into it here in 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Alright, so if you're familiar with Tetris 99 at all, Pac-Man 99 basically does the same thing. It does, Tetris 99 just to Tetris, Pac-Man 99 just to Pac-Man. Wow, unbelievable. And we actually got immediately into a lobby, so that's very nice. So you'll see a lot of similarities between this game and the original Pac-Man. So stuff like, if you hit a ghost, you'll die. If you eat a power pellet, the ghost will turn blue and you'll be able to eat them. There are some notable differences you'll see pretty early on as well. For example, you have these sleeping ghosts on the sides of the map, which when Pac-Man eats them, he'll cause a train to follow behind whichever ghost is closest to those sleeping ghosts. And on top of that, you'll see these like little white outlines of Pac-Man. These are called jammers. So whenever Pac-Man goes through one of them, they will slow him down, so they'll kind of latch onto him like Velcro and not let go for a little bit of time. Right now, when we're just in round 1, they come off of him pretty quickly, but as we get later and later into the game, they'll latch onto him for a little bit longer. And you might be wondering, okay, well, where do those jammers come from? Well, whenever you eat a ghost on your side of the screen, you attack other players. And I believe at the base, for each ghost you eat, you will send one jammer to whatever players you're attacking. One of you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's effectively how you attack other players. If any of you have any comments on that.
I leave it to the pack professors with that. I don't know exactly, like, that would be a Master A1 question for 100%. How many exactly? I don't know what the ratio is of attacks.
How many get sent to each person?
Yeah, I mean, like, the technical stuff is, like, we don't need to worry about that, but that's effectively how the game functions.
Yeah,
and generally
definitely.
speaking, you want to get higher combos, so, like, the main reason you would eat the Sleeping Ghost is to rack up higher combos each time you eat a power pellet. Because obviously if you only eat one ghost at a time, you're not going to get, too many jammers sent to other players, as opposed to, if you get a full combo of 16, that'll be a lot more effective at sending jammers to other people.
And now you have the red jammers out, which are a whole different animal.
Yeah, so
now
these red jammers will start... Yeah, I think it's after a minute and a
right?
half, the red jammers will start spawning. And the only way to get rid of them is to eat the fruit in the center of the stage, and the only way to get rid of the white jammers is to eat one of the power pellets. Now you might have also noticed that the red jammers don't move while a power pellet is activated, so your power pellets are like the bread and butter of surviving longer in this game.
Yeah, definitely. They'll clear out the white jammers and they'll freeze up the red jammers. And that's the only other thing to remember is that you can't touch the red jammers at all.
Yeah, they effectively act as additional ghosts in this game, whereas if you touch them, even a little bit. The white jammers don't give you any issues, but the red jammers, your game is over. And since this is a battle royale, you don't have lives, so that's just a GG, try again, and try not to do it again.
It's also interesting to note the hitbox of the red jammers. You can kind of touch them a little bit.
Yes, if you're less than halfway through, you can go past them.
Yeah, so you'll notice there'll be instances where it looks like, well, how did Pac-Man squeeze by that space? It's because you can, is it a half? I feel like it's only like a quarter. Because I'll get caught sometimes.
Yeah, but bottom line, the hitboxes in this game are fairly generous. They'll help you in all the ways they should. Which is very nice in the developers. It's not like anything tricky like the original Pac-Man where it's like, well, only like 2 pixels touched, and it doesn't matter.
But this one definitely, at first glance, for someone who has never seen anything like this or seen this game before, it's a little stressful.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It is definitely...
There is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot to take in.
And there's no instructions.
No instructions. So Uncle Slam was one of the pioneers. There were a few players that pioneered the game and learned all the ins and outs. And I actually learned most of what I know from Uncle Slam watching his streams.
Yeah, I think the best way to learn how to play this game is to watch people stream it. It's the only way to figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, because especially when the game started out, like, people thought that the fruit example in the center, like, they thought that it was just, like, random whenever it would show up, or you had to wait a certain amount of time. No, what actually happens is that as soon as you eat half of the dots on the maze, that's what spawns it. So, all the dots I'm eating, they don't really, you know, obviously there's no score in this game, you're just trying to survive to the end. But, the more dots you eat, the faster you can spawn the fruit in the center, and the faster you spawn that, then the faster you can get rid of all the red jammers, which again are deadly.
That's true, and it's also good to indicate that if you eat all the dots on the board, you'll get a speed upgrade.
Yeah, that's very important too, because like obviously the faster you go, the faster you can get away from ghosts and red jammers. That was a little close for comfort, but you know what? We're still alive,
nice.
so I'm all for it.
This is a real duel going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned A1 earlier. Do you think he's in this lobby with me? Guess there's one way to find out.
Oh boy.
It's definitely a pro.
I feel like whenever you go past, whenever you get into round 8 and round 9 and beyond, it's someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh, almost always. I might be in a little bit of a pickle here. Ah, yeah.
Oh,
I was trying to go up and back down before I hit that red jammer, but Ice Spice, my favorite Spice Girl. Alright, well, GG to everyone in this lobby. We're gonna go ahead and hop right back in here.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Trying to think if there's anything we forgot here.
Well, I don't think anything basic. The names of the ghosts are all the same as well.
Yeah, so Blinky's the red one, Clyde's orange, Inky's blue. I don't remember what color Pinky is. That one's a hard one.
And they all have different personalities. Basically, like you said, the base game is very similar to the original Pac-Man, almost, if not identical.
Yes, like if you know and like Pac-Man, you can pick up this game and play it. It's just a matter of learning the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities, like with the ghost patterns, how they behave. They don't behave exactly the same. Like Clyde, for example, like in the original game, he acts a lot like Blinky, then he'll run away from Pac-Man. In this game, he is completely random. He is by far the most changed from the original.
So, are you taking questions from people, Uncle Slam?
Yeah, if you guys see any questions in chat that you want me to answer, I see Green Z Saber Assassin with longest known matches. It's like over 20 minutes, I want to say, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, the longest known it was a comm glitched match, so that it was an infinite comm that What's the Deal was playing with, and it lasted an hour.
Oh wow, that's way longer than 20 minutes. But yeah, so one thing we should also cover is the game styles and how the targeting works in this game. So on the left side, you can see 4 different pins that say Train, Speed, Stronger, and Standard. And each of those affect how Pac-Man operates in a few different ways. Faxman, if you want to kind of tackle those and all the pros and cons of them.
Yeah, so if we want to go to the targeting, you have random, you have hunter, you have knockout, and you have counter. So random will target random players. It starts off targeting 4 and it goes down as the game progresses. You have hunter, and that they're going to target the person who has the most badges, which is good if you have no badges and want to get badges. It's also a little scary because you'll usually be targeting a good player.
So I don't think we explained the badges too. We should probably explain that as well before.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
When you knock out someone, you will get their badges if they have any. and those badges, eventually four pieces of badge will equal a shield, and that shield will block 2 jammers up if you look at the attack bar down at the bottom there.
Yeah, it's a little hard to explain, but at the bottom you can kind of see that because I have 1 badge, there are 2 circles kind of highlighted in blue.
Yeah.
And that means that in order for someone to actually send me jammers, they need to eat at least 3 ghosts.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll send nothing, and the shields will save me.
So if you're targeting Hunter, you will be targeting the player that has the most badges, and you will be able to steal all their badges if you knock them out. Knockout is a little strange. As far as we know, it targets the person who's closest to being eliminated. We don't know what the metric is on that.
Yeah, the game has a system for it. It's just like very unclear to us humans.
Yeah.
But
and then you
it
have
has
counter,
a system.
yeah. And you have counter, which a lot of players use because you'll just be counterattacking the people that are countering you, and that helps out a lot if you have multiple attackers. If you go into a counterattack, you get a nice bonus for attacking multiple people.
Yeah, I think that bonus applies even if you're only attacking one other person too. Like,
Yeah,
it would be a better option than just doing random or any of the others.
When you have more than one person attacking you, does it evenly distribute your attacks to everyone? They get the same attack?
I believe so.
I believe so, yes. That's another Master A1 question, but I believe so.
Yeah, but like Uncle Slam said, it's definitely worth it if you have Nintendo Switch Online and you are not playing this game. That's a little crazy. It's absolutely free to play, and it's really fun.
It's super addictive.
Yeah, once you actually get the hang of it and like understand all the mechanics, like you just want to go back and get one more win before the end of the night.
And the great part about it as well is there's a really supportive community out there. Of players, of streamers, and everyone helps each other, and everyone just wants people to have fun and get better.
Yeah, definitely a great community of people, and it's growing by the day.
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for the community of this game, like I don't think this would have nearly as much longevity as it has had. I guess getting back to the gameplay a little bit, we never really did touch upon the different play styles here. So
Right.
the one I'll be using the most often is going to be speed, and as you might expect, that gives Pac-Man a little bit of a speed boost whenever it's active. At the detriment of like your attacks being a little bit weaker when you eat ghosts and send jammers to other players.
Yeah, you'll lose 1/4 of your attacks if you use speed, but you will gain 3 speed.
Yeah, which is very, very useful, as you might imagine, because in the later rounds especially, the ghosts get very fast. It's also worth noting that like when you have speed active, the red jammers also get much faster.
Yeah, the red jammers will always be the same speed as Pac-Man, so if you do increase your speed, their speed will increase as well.
Yeah, but luckily they'll be paused most of the time anyway from all the power pellets you eat.
Power pellets.
Yeah, so they're not usually the worst part of that deal. Now, if you do train anytime you pass through these sleeping ghosts, that'll actually double the amount of ghosts you add to the end of one of the main ghosts. So you can get like really high combos if you use train.
And with the update, I believe you only attack yourself now twice. Like it sends 2 jammers in.
It'll send 2 jammers for every 4 sleeping ghosts that you wake up.
Wow,
Yeah, in the past it used to be every 2, which is...
Yeah, it's 1 jammer for every 4, I'm sorry. So if he wakes up 8, you get 2.
That was very scary, but again, we'll
Very
take
nice.
it considering I am still very much alive.
I'm seeing a lot of familiar names in the chat. Mr. Mini and Dantastico, Trev the Ent. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Green Saber's asking about different board layouts. They do have different skins, but it's the same maze.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that jammer on the bottom is going to let me pass.
You could try
Very
to
easily.
do it.
I don't think I can with that setup. Yeah, at that point it's just getting lucky or not.
Nice try.
Good game.
Yeah, do my best. Hey,
Oh my
I will
gosh.
take second place twice in a row there. Mix with in fourth. One of the best players in the world, honestly.
And classic Olin there.
Classic
Great member
identity.
of
Yeah,
the
lots of
community.
familiar faces. Lots of Mothership. I think frequency your stream a lot. Faxman.
That's right, that's right.
Very nice, very nice. All right, let's get back into it.
So I guess continuing with the attacks, we did speed and train. The next one to discuss is stronger, which is an interesting one. Because not only can you use it for attacks, a lot of people use it to extend the power pellet time in rounds where the power pellet time is very, very short.
Yeah, so one thing worth noting, like in the original Pac-Man, whatever level you're in the original Pac-Man, the power pellet timer usually will get faster and faster. So in the very first level, you might have 10 seconds on the power pellet timer, then level 2 you get 6 seconds, and then it just keeps shrinking and shrinking. That's basically the same with this game. So when you use stronger, anytime you eat a power pellet, it will always last 3 seconds. So in the earlier rounds when it lasts longer than that, you don't generally want to use stronger. But in the later rounds where it lasts like 1 second or shorter, you generally want to use it just to extend it. The problem with stronger is that it will permanently decrease your speed level by 1. So if you've been racking up speed the entire time, you don't want to use stronger too much, or you'll basically have to use snail strats, which Faxman I know is very good at.
Yeah. So each power pellet you eat, you will lose a speed permanently. So it's very you have to be very sparing with it, or use it very tactically.
Yeah, so
that's definitely an advanced strategy for the end game.
Yeah, so generally you won't see me using stronger until like round 8 at the earliest, but round 9 is usually where I'll try to use it. But because it permanently decreases your speed, I'll effectively just try to use stronger, clear out as much of the pellets as I can on the board as possible, and get the heck out of dodge. Because you do not want to linger in round 9 longer than you have to.
And these are public matches, not private matches.
That is correct.
So Uncle Slam is out there playing against the world currently.
Yeah, though I will say, for those of you in chat who have this game and the DLC, at the very end here, I will be doing a private lobby match. So if that interests any of you, please feel free to join.
Yeah, they're always fun.
It's a completely different animal.
They really are.
Public lobbies.
Yeah, because when you do private, you pretty much know you'll be with some of the best, and oh boy, those are some sweaty matches.
Hello to Saken Slash and Sonic in the chat.
Yo.
I think the last attack strategy we didn't get to was just the standard, which is just your standard attack, but it works surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good for if you want to, like not go sluggishly slow, but still have a good amount of attack power behind you.
And if you don't want to activate those 2 to 4 white jammers if you're using train.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily with the update, that's not too much of an issue anymore, but yeah, it's still a nice little boon to have.
I think it's definitely a good idea for new players don't think too much about changing the strategies. Like if you were to play the game and you just stuck with standard, I remember Lucas talks about that a lot. Just run with standard at the beginning. You don't even have to press any buttons. Just try to focus on clearing the maze, running through.
Yeah, just good old standard Pac-Man at the start with additional red jammers thrown in the mix. That's basically all you have to worry about.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to progress in this game. You take things one step at a time. First you learn the targeting, then you learn the attack strategies, then maybe you start looking at that attack bar down at the bottom. It's definitely a progression through repetition.
Yeah, so one thing I did there, we kind of glossed over, is a technique we call pecking. So anytime you're with a train, I almost ran smack into that red jammer there, but anytime you're with a train, you can go through it in 2 different ways. You can try to eliminate them like 1 or 2 goes at a time, which is what pecking is, or you can blaze right through. And you will generally see me pecking more often than just blazing right through, because that will extend the amount of time the power pellet lasts. Which you want to make as much use of those as you reasonably can. So it's really good for, stalling it out and make sure you don't go into the later rounds too quickly.
Yeah, if you look in the center of the screen, you can see there's a little timer bar going around with the power pellet time, and each time he pecks a ghost, it extends it a little bit longer.
Yeah, so if you chain your pecks together, it's a really good way to like make that last as long as reasonably possible.
The pecking also helps when you're in a tight spot and you have to look at the board and decide what your path is going to be. You can extend the time and kind of look at the board.
Yeah, because this is definitely a game where you want to, find as many routes as reasonably possible while you're able to. Because if you're dead set on one specific path and it gets blocked and you don't have a backup, then it becomes bad news bears really, really quickly.
Especially the way with the red jammers, how they spawn. Now, they won't spawn in your quadrant, but they will spawn in the other 3 quadrants, and you have to kind of watch that.
Yeah, and it is possible to for them to spawn like as you're entering a quadrant before the game like realizes you're there, and at that point they can just spawn right on top of you, and you just kind of have to grin and bear it like that.
Just like that.
As I'm talking about it. Oh my gosh.
You manifested it.
That was a great example. Thank you so much for showing us how that works.
Yeah, it was
Probably
educational what happened right there.
We call that one an insta spawn.
Yeah, shoutouts to Pink Sal for that terminology.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that. You know you're a pro when that happens once every stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
It's really easy to do when you're going really fast. Mr. Mini has a great question. He wants to know, what are the quadrants? If you split the board into four parts, that's your quadrant. The upper left, the upper right, the bottom left, and the bottom right.
If you take each power pellet, and that area where the power pellet is would be a quadrant. So you have
Draw
4
like
quadrants and a middle.
Across it.
Yeah, so you might have noticed that, like, in the original Pac-Man, basically the entire board is usually filled with dots, but in this game, it's only, like, 4 rectangles worth of dots, and wherever those dots can be placed, that is what the game considers a quadrant. So if you're, if you're going to the upper left and you're just below the lower dots, you're not technically considered in that quadrant. It's a little technical, but it's a good way to, good thing to keep in mind when you're trying to avoid the red jammers.
Yes, Green Saber, the red Pac-Man will kill you.
Insta-death.
That's something they don't tell you when you first start playing this game. You try to eat them and you die.
So some of the boards, you'll see there will be a board that's completely clear, and then other boards have one part missing. The real, like the super pros, I believe Master A1, he knows the sequence because it's always the same. Now, the match will start at a random point in the sequence, but I can't remember for the life of me right now. I know Supersonic Mockingjay in chat, he knows the sequence, which is another crazy thing to think about.
Yeah,
all the other
definitely.
things that are going on, and then you're like, okay, wait, the top part of the board is clear, which means the next one. But it's also good to know because every time you have a fully clear board, the board afterwards is going to be completely full.
Yeah, that's as far as I can ever remember.
Yeah, the big thing to keep in mind is that when a board is empty, because you get a speed boost every single time the board is clear of dots, that will immediately give you a speed boost when you hop into it, because at that point you have no more dots to eat. And the cycle is, I believe it is 9 boards long. So if you see a completely empty board, so I'm in round 3 right now. If this board was empty when I entered it, we could expect to see that round 12 would also be empty as soon as I get into that round. So I could guarantee, okay, so I'm going to get a speed boost here. I can basically camp the fruit if I really need to. It's just a good thing to keep in mind at the top level. In casual, in more casual play, you don't really need to worry about that too much. This ghost is
Now here,
okay, I think we're good.
This is a good point to point out the way the red jammers move.
Yeah, so you saw me when that red jammer in the upper right was there and paused. I was staying right to the left of it before it started moving again, and you might be thinking, wow, you were that close to death. If it went to the left, then you would have been done. So when the red jammers regain their movement, they will always either go up or to the right when possible. If they're in an intersection, sometimes they will go to the left. But whenever
That's the
they
worst.
resume movement, like you can almost guarantee where they're going to move as soon as they are able to again.
Trev the Ent is asking, what do the arrows that appear do indicate? Those arrows appear 1 minute and 30 seconds into the game. Before that time, the ghost cannot travel upwards through those S channels on the top and bottom of the maze. And after 1 minute and 30 seconds, they are able to come up through those S channels.
Yeah, and that's actually a reference to the original Pac-Man as well, where that exact same principle applied. I don't know if it was 1.5 minutes exactly when they could go up there in the original Pac-Man, but yeah, again, the same principle is effectively unchanged. So
And
it's really
with the
nice to
game's
see that.
update, you're able to use those arrows as an indicator that you know the red jammers will be appearing soon.
Yep, so like both of those things will happen at the 1.5 minute mark. Another thing that is consistent with the timing of this game, once you hit the minute mark, the white jammers will start moving around the maze, much like the ghosts. Before that point, they're completely stationary. And much easier to avoid, and much nicer in general to us.
And since the game's been released, I think there's only really been that one major update, correct? To
I believe
change
so,
the
yeah.
gameplay.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that
the
was
only
it.
update period this game's had, to be honest.
Yep, that was it. Just to keep the players from camping or stalling, they sped the gameplay up a little bit.
Yeah,
Made it a
they
little
were
more
watching
difficult.
Uncle Slam dominate with the T-stall, and they said, we got to stop this guy.
Yeah, so early on, there are a couple different general strats you can do. The two main ones are stall strats and speed strats. So stall-in, we kind of touched on it before with when we were talking about pecking, but is when you want to avoid getting to the later rounds as much as possible because you'll have so little time on the power pellet that it becomes like super dangerous to stay in those rounds for too long. And the other one is to use speed and like to try to get as much speed as you possibly can while you have the opportunity to. And that's really nice for when I'm actually gonna go stronger here just to be on the safe side. I think I can squeeze through. Oh wow, I'm surprised actually.
That looked doable.
Yeah, so there is one feature of this game called corner dodging, where basically, even though it looks like Pac-Man and a red jammer, or even a ghost in some cases, are overlapping completely, if the hitboxes are set up just right and you have enough speed built up, you can actually go right past each other and you'll get this kind of shin sound effect. I'll try to show that off this game actually. But
It isn't that. I thought it was perfectly anticipating the turn. If you input the turn,
If you input the turn slightly before you make the turn, it'll happen. You'll see the sparks on the turn,
yeah.
yeah,
and
so
you should be able to.
yeah, so
phase
I
through
will
the
actually
field.
try to set it up in this next match here to kind of show it off because it actually does look pretty cool. And you can tell it's an intended mechanic because they added full effect to it. That's another reference to the original Pac-Man where like if you're like pixel perfect, frame perfect, maybe even subpixel perfect, you can actually turn a corner the exact same time as a ghost, and just go go your separate ways. Wow, what are words? And even though normally your paths like would intersect, you both remain unscathed.
Oh, we're getting the board order from Supersonic Mockingjay. Thank you for posting that. It's super nerdy. Look at how so many Pac nerds. I love it.
Yeah,
It's
they've
so
studied
good.
this game. Green Saber asks, the blank names are AI. Yes, if the lobby doesn't fill up to a full 99 with human players, they'll fill the rest with comms. And Trev the Ant asks, can you do it more than once per match? I imagine the corner dodge, yes, you can do it as many times as you're able to.
Yeah, though generally speaking, it's not a strat you want to rely on. It's more of a last-ditch effort sort of deal.
Yeah.
Because A, you need enough speed to pull it off, and B, the positioning of whatever ghost or red jammer you're trying to avoid needs to be correct as well. And trying to intentionally set that up is doable, but if you're like going out of your way to set it up, you're basically just doing it to show off at that point, or like
Uncle
you
Slam,
are
you're not,
like
you're
in a
not
corner.
trying hard enough, Uncle Slam. You gotta think about what they're doing in Germany right now. So right now we gotta think about Germany, and I've seen. There was a clip where I saw Lucas did like 20 in a row. They just practice it. They're practicing it now. He was doing it speed 0.
Lucas does
Oh my
practice this.
gosh. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know in the chat, 3 of the absolute best players in the world, Lucas, Master A1, and Esteban, are all from Germany. Just by sheer coincidence, and they are cracked at this game. Like, they do things that, like, us filthy Americans can only dream of sometimes. Like, Master A1 will stay on the same round for, like, 4 minutes just to make sure he eats all of the pellets to get a speed boost.
Breaking the game with the tunnel dodge.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
If you time it correctly, you have to pass this certain point. As the ghost is going through the tunnel, you can pass through the ghost without getting hurt.
It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, like, there is no good way to set that up. It's just, you'll either get it or you won't. Sort of deal. Oh, I should not go that way.
Hello to Parawheeler.
Para's here.
Parawheeler, friend of many of us Pac-Man 99ers.
Yes, Parawheeler has the fever. We have gotten Parawheeler. We've infected her with the Pac-Man fever.
She's got the Pac-Man fever, definitely.
It's driving her crazy.
Callus on her finger.
But I will say, to a lot of people, you're watching this and you're thinking, holy cow, this is going so fast. I don't even know if I could play this. When you watch the gameplay, it's really interesting because I know when I'm in the game playing, it doesn't ever feel as fast. But then I'll go back and look at clips of the gameplay. I'll be like, holy cow, that was like greased lightning. I can't believe it was going that fast.
Uh-oh, that was a missed input, but you know what? We will roll with the punches.
Now you've definitely, Uncle Slam has changed his strategy from, so after the update, they did try to make it tougher for people that were stalling. Because the game was sped up, they introduced those anti-stalling jammers that spawn into your quadrant and try to jam you up.
Yeah,
Yes,
so sometimes even when you're not
30
being
seconds.
attacked, there will be jammers that just appear.
Yeah, just try to mess you up.
Yeah,
But
and they
you
will
used to
show,
do-
I believe it's every 30 seconds after the minute and a half or 2 minute mark happens. They will always, if I'm not mistaken, they will always spawn in whatever quadrant Pac-Man is in, so kind of the opposite of, you know, what a normal attack would do.
Yes, yes.
But I remember you used to do the T-stall. You used to stall so much.
Yeah, and I would
you were
see
the
those
master
jammers
of
all the
stalling.
time, yeah.
Some people say you can still do it, but you know it is nice to have that speed. But Faxman, you also do stalling, so you don't T-stall, but you do the tunnel stall.
Yeah, I do like a little tunnel wiggle.
Yeah, I
is
think
tough.
that mantle has officially been passed on to Faxman at this point because he is very good at that.
The tunnel wiggler. But you know what? He doesn't use your patented method of double thumbing it.
It is not.
So Uncle
No.
Slam does a crazy thing with the controller, guys. He moves his right thumb over to... You're using the D-pad, correct?
I am, yes.
So I use the D-pad as well. The D-pad is the default controls for the game, but you can switch control styles to use an analog stick. You could even program special keyboards. I didn't even know this. I found out recently. One of the greats, Mr. Mini, actually uses a keyboard to play the game, which is crazy, like a little mini keyboard.
Yes.
But Uncle Slam double thumbs it. He will move his right thumb over to his left thumb and quickly press the little D-pad buttons back and forth in the tunnels and stuff, or when he wants to go back and forth and stay still. It's crazy. I don't know how you do that because there's so much happening.
Lots of practice.
A lot of practice.
Okay, so round 16. This is actually like a really insane level to hit.
Yeah, this is a real barn burner right here.
Also, can I just point out, we kind of glazed over it, but this soundtrack is killer when you get into the top 10.
Yeah, this makes your heart race.
This gives me panic attacks. I prefer playing with the volume off. Oh.
Yeah, that's over. That's over. I almost had it. If I could have eaten Clyde there, that would have been enough to get me to the next round pretty easily.
Nice try.
Yeah, GG's, GG's. Alright, let's see if I can at least get one win this this showcase. I think we have, let me see here. Yeah, so I think I'll do, depending on how long it takes, we'll probably do like 1, maybe 2 more matches. Then we can do a private lobby.
Awesome.
Could you show us, could you do one of your super stall? Can you give us a super T stall?
You know what? I will do that here, actually.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. J-Bob is in the house, the one and only J-Bob.
J-Bob, fantastic, fantastic player. Actually, so we kind of glazed over it as well here. So some of you may be wondering, hey, what makes us qualified to, you know, show Pac-Man 99 off in a speedrun marathon, you know, at high level? So back in January of this year, Bandai Namco themselves actually hosted something called the Pac-Man 99 Challenge. So, you know, back then, it was just the qualifiers. So, you know, like every month, or every week in January, they would host a different round of qualifiers, or the top 4 players in the United States and Canada would qualify for the finals, which were actually hosted at PAX East earlier this year. And among the 16 people who qualified, we were 3 of them. I was among the first set. Faxman, I believe you were amongst the second set of qualified players. And then Craig snuck in just at the end.
Yes.
And Bandai Namco actually flew like every single one of us out, or like those of us who didn't drive at least. But yeah, they paid for all the travel, like just to have us compete in a 14, you know, tournament setting of Pac-Man 99.
It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was like, honestly, it was the first time most of us like ever got to meet other Pac-Man 99 players in person.
Yes, a lot of members of the community all met up there. It was a great experience.
Yeah, even ones that like didn't actually.
Happen.
Yeah, even one, you know, great players that didn't even get invited to the finals were there. Like Classic OL was there. We saw Ty. There were a few others here and there. Parawheeler in the chat was also there, if I'm not mistaken. It was just a whole good time. But, you know, some of you even beyond that may be asking, okay, well, Uncle Slam, why are you the one showcasing this game instead of Faxman and Crag? Well, to kind of give a miniature version of my resume in this game. So, back in, I believe it was starting in like late April, might have been a little later than that, but I did something on my channel which I also called the Pac-Man 99 Challenge before Bandai Namco stole that from me, for whatever reason. And what that entailed was I would play this game for 9 hours a day, every day, until I hit the #1 spot on the in-game leaderboards, because this game also does have in-game leaderboards. And after I think a month of grinding, I did finally make it. So I am one of the few people in the world who actually did manage to get the coveted title of #1 player in the world, based on
#1
the game itself.
I was there. I was watching you. I cheered you on during that journey, and you showed me the way.
Yeah, I think I was in the 2300 in terms of win count when I finally crossed that mark, which at that point I was like so... It was a pretty euphoric moment. I'm not gonna lie.
Not only that though, but as far as talking about the finals in Boston, you led your team to victory. You were the MVP.
I did. Yeah, so of the 4 teams, mine was the one that came out on top, just barely too, just barely. Like, it was a close set of matches between both the semis and the grand finals.
Oh yeah, definitely. All 4 matches were, all 4 games were hotly contested.
And I will be honest, like nothing against any of the players on my team or any of the other teams, but I was not expecting to like win it all. I was for sure thinking that, you know, like, oh man, like Watts is on Lana's team and he's like the best player in the States. You know, Team 5-Up, which, you know, both of these fine gentlemen were on, was just a stacked team through and through. Like, the odds were not in our favor, and despite that...
Despite all odds, you guys pulled it out. In the very last match, it was very exciting. I'm sure it was exciting to watch, too. People have told me, just because it came down to... Almost every match came down to the last game, so...
Yeah, like
I'm
I've
glad
had...
we were able to excite people.
Yeah, like I've had friends, like, who I managed to get to watch the event live say, like, I didn't understand a single thing that was going on, yet I was hyped as I possibly could have been.
It's definitely exciting to watch.
So right now I have to figure out how I'm going to get into this apple.
Oh man,
This is a little tricky. I have good red jammer positioning right now, so I can just wait a little bit, and I almost butchered it there. I almost butchered it. Actually, I still may have butchered it, because I have to get through to... Okay.
oh boy. Here we go. Pied Piper, red.
Oh, Clyde, you
There
butt!
we go.
You butt!
Oh no!
We are good. We are good.
Wow.
Well done.
Thank you, thank you. So one thing that actually helped me there was there is a limit to how many jammers can be on the screen at any given time. So between red and white jammers, you can only have a maximum of 16 out and about at once. So once you hit that limit, you can't really get hit by any attacks until you eat the fruit and move on to the next round. Yeah, you can see here that like I'm going much slower than I was before, and that's because I did adopt the stall strats. Now if you go speed strats, like you can actually, you know, build up speed early on while it's still easy to, but if you adopt stall strats, then it's much harder to actually accomplish that.
But you also figure that you are probably in a way lower round than your opponent.
Yeah, so whoever's in second place right now, or whoever's with me in the top two, is dealing with much faster power pellet timers and a lot less wiggle room to do what he wants to do.
Unless
Yeah,
they're also stalling.
That is a
That's
possibility. It's not a super popular strat anymore, but it does still get its fair share of users. Oh my gosh, round 10.
Nice.
So like using my normal strats, normally we would be in like round 15 or so at this stage. Another nice thing about when you get empty boards like this from the get-go is that you never have to worry about eating any pellets to spawn the food. Like, it will always be there.
Yeah, you can kind of relax for a second.
I think they're in scatter mode now. We didn't really talk about scatter mode either, but effectively every 25 seconds the ghosts are not blue. They will enter something called scatter mode, where they all go to their respective quadrants. Again, much like in the original Pac-Man, they will do that.
Yeah, just like original Pac-Man. We need a fruit here.
We really do. Hey,
There it
ask
is.
and ye shall receive. Yeah, you can see why, if you don't have any speed built up, how things can get really out of control really quickly, because at this point I have no speed to work with. So I just need to rely on a win like that. Perfect!
Yeah.
Took long enough.
That's what we call turtle mode.
Yeah, GG's, GG's.
Good game.
Alright, so we still have time for one more match, so we are going to actually make this a private lobby. So if you in chat have this game and the DLC, you can enter a private lobby with us. And the password for this lobby is going to be 11111. Oh gosh, what should that last number be? I got it. 1.
Don't make things too confusing.
I am nothing if not original. So if
That's my password across the board. You just gave it away.
Yeah, so if you guys want to join the lobby, I will let this sit for a second, give you guys time to boot up the game, also make sure the stream delay has enough time to reach you guys. and we will hop into it. So I am going to start this lobby now. So we are almost guaranteed to see a lot of familiar faces within the community here. I have no guarantees how long this match will last, because again, the level of play in the community is just so strong. But yeah, Fax and Craig, if you guys want to join, this is your opportunity.
Oh,
Nice.
man, I was not
Booting up my
expecting
Switch
this.
right now.
You've got 65 seconds. I believe in you.
My Switch is in the house, so I'm going to be just watching this one.
You can do the play-by-play commentary for us then.
Okay, I'm in.
Lovely.
Nice. I love seeing the old school super stall strat getting the win there. That was great.
Honestly, I was not expecting that. Of all the games today that could have won, that was not one I was prepared for. But you know what? It's about time stall strats had to come back.
The stall strat is doable. It's a balancing act with the speed and the stalling nowadays, and that's kind of how you have to figure it.
You have to be good at that stronger game at the end. You have to embrace the turtle speed, like you said.
Yeah, because once you start getting into those later rounds and you need to use stronger, it's like you have no speed to work with, and that's your only hope of getting from one power pellet to the next.
Here we go. Supersonic says, question. If max allowed on board is 16, we're talking about red jammers, then even with the damage multiplier and number they already have on the board, how is a better, stronger attack any better? The
I
question
need time
is,
to
why is
process
stronger
that. That was a
better?
long question. I need to process that for a second. So, it mostly only becomes better at that stage if you're using stall strats. If you're talking about like when we're using stall strats, because at that point you basically don't have any time to use speed strats. Because at that point you're losing so much speed that stronger is kind of your only way to deal with the low amount of time you have on the power pellets.
Yeah, there comes a point when if you commit to stronger, you can't really switch back because you've lost so much speed. You just have to embrace the turtle.
Yeah,
Be the turtle.
because you will get a speed boost every couple of rounds anyway, even if you haven't cleared the board of all the dots. The problem is, because you're moving so slow if you stall early on, you don't generally have enough speed to, traverse a lot of the maze to get the other pellets until... before you get attacked and, red jammers are all about, and it becomes really hard to actually clear those dots when they're being blocked by red jammers. If it was just the ghosts, that'd be one thing, because we could turn them blue and go right through them. But with the red jammers, the only way to get through is to eat the fruit, and if we eat the fruit, by the time we eat all the dots, then we just don't get the speed boost. And it's back to square one, effectively. And that's one of the reasons why stall strats have, more or less faded. I don't want to say faded, but, they aren't nearly as popular as they used to be.
Yeah, I definitely noticed. So rewatching the finals for the Bandai Namco Challenge, I noticed you changed your strategy. You played a little faster because I think from what it looked like when we rewatched it, is that you were losing because you were not going fast enough. You did not have the speed you wanted later. So you just started skipping pellets. Like once you would clear the board and you had that one quadrant empty, you were like, nah, I'm not taking that power pellet, we're just going to the next level.
Yeah, so typically what I'll do now, this is a far cry from what I used to do with hardcore stalling strats. What I will do is I will try to make it to round 3 and clear out every single round from 1 through 3, so I get 3 speed boosts guaranteed. Well, actually 4, since you get a free one for clearing round 3, even if you don't completely eat all the dots. So at that point, you generally have enough speed to get you through pretty late into the game. But another key aspect of this game, and one of the things that separates the boys from the men, is knowing when to not even attempt to do a board clear.
Yeah, it's called getting greedy, and I've definitely been caught getting greedy.
Yeah, so when you when you're at the point where you've already spawned the fruit, but like you realize that trying to get a speed boost from clearing the board is effectively hopeless, then it doesn't really benefit you to get any more dots. But at the same time, they're there, they're enticing. You want to grab them even though they have no benefit at that point anymore. Just knowing when not to do that goes a long way. But in this case, I may be able to get a speed. Yeah, yeah, I can get it. I can get this easy.
Oh, easy. He says easy.
That was easy.
I don't know why I didn't have you, or why I didn't expect you to have that at the ready.
I'm here with all my toys.
Okay, I was in there. I'm out at 5th, so good luck.
Thank you, my friend.
The timing of these private lobbies is definitely it's different, and you're getting greedy, and the attack was coming.
Trust me, I'm a trained professional.
True.
He knows what he's doing.
Also, I really needed the fruit to spawn, so I mean,
So that is. Uh-oh. No fruit. Nice. Oh
that
my
was
gosh, that was so
spooky.
close.
That was
Thank you,
very
Inky.
spooky. You know what? That makes it more exciting, which, again, I am all for. Ah, man, I was really hoping that attack would hit immediately.
Yeah, so that's another big thing. That helped my gameplay out a lot, is watching that attack bar at the bottom of the screen. Now, you want to try to go into the next round when there's no attack happening. If attack's coming, hang out over there. Wait for the attack, then grab the fruit, because it'll clear the red jammers off your board, which just can be huge.
Yeah, it'll make things a lot less of a hassle, trust me.
Even trying to time your power pellets to the attacks as well, because it'll clear out the white jammers and you'll be able to move around more freely on the board. All right, this is a 1v1 again.
1v1. War's asking, did you tell people how the bottom quadrants have more dots than the top quadrants?
No.
Oh, that's a good thing
Yes,
to point out.
that-
Yeah, so
that is a good thing.
yeah, so you know, another top level strat. So one thing to keep in mind is that you need to clear half of the dots on the board in order to spawn the fruit. So you can clear the left half entirely or the right half entirely. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna focus on the gameplay here. And that will get it to you perfectly. Alternatively, if you're kind of stuck on like the top or the bottom half, if it comes down to that, you definitely want to be on the bottom half because you will have more than enough dots to eat over there to spawn the fruit. Whereas if you're stuck on the top and you actually can't get down to the bottom, then there's no way. Even if you eat every single dot on the top, that won't be enough to spawn the fruit.
The War with a great question.
Good question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I think
good.
it's 96 on the top and 118 or something on the bottom, something
Yeah,
like that.
you are a nerd.
I was about to say I'm not that
Thank you.
encyclopedic when it comes to this game.
It's not just the glasses. You are a nerd.
No, thank you.
And I'm here for it. I love it.
Thank you. This is a battle.
This is a mega battle right now.
Oh, that was way too close for comfort. Okay, so round 17. This is the point where you basically want to go all stronger all the time, because pretty soon here we will have absolutely no time left on the power pellets.
It's a blink, right? It doesn't even really turn on.
Yeah,
it
17 is
doesn't.
the point.
Like, the ghosts will turn around and that's it. They don't even turn blue. Not that we needed to worry about that.
Good game.
GG's all around. Mr.
Good game,
Mini in
everybody.
second place. Let's go. Then you got Dan, Faxman, and Mary Lou. Shoutouts to Dan Tastico in third place, who is actually the brother of Faxman.
That's right, my little brother.
Yeah, and he's well, I would say just as good, but I don't know. Faxman,
Oh, don't start
let's just
that.
No rivalry.
No,
let's just say
no.
one of them made it to the finals in the Pac-Man 99 challenge, and the
No
other did
beef.
not.
No
so.
beef.
Okay,
Ooh.
so one thing, that match did last a little longer than anticipated, but we do actually have one additional thing. Since you guys actually did raise enough money for this, we did meet the score attack incentive, so I'm going to show that off as well. Going to reset the timer there, and we're just going to go in here. So this should take less than 5 minutes easily, so 3, 2, 1, let's go. So effectively, this game mode is very different from how the Battle Royale showcase works. So right here, you'll notice that, okay, we don't have any opponents, but because that we also don't have any different skill sets, so I can't switch to speed, I can't switch to trained or stronger. You're effectively stuck on standard the entire time here. The whole goal of this mode, as the name suggests, is to get the high score in as little time as possible. That high score is, I believe, 33 million or 3.3 million, something like that. And the faster you hit that, the better you'll do, so there are actually in-game leaderboards for this as well that will track how quickly you complete this. And when you do this, because there are no points in the Battle Royale mode, the way you build up points in this is very similar to the original Pac-Man, where you get, I think it's 10 points per dot you eat. You'll also get points the more ghosts you eat as well. And the longer the chain you're able to rack up with the ghosts, the more points you'll get every single time you eat one. So the best way to actually get a really good time in this mode is to just keep eating ghosts. So as soon as I ate the first power pellet, I started a sequence where I just want to keep this combo going as much as possible. If those ghosts turn to their normal colors for even split seconds, that's going to really, really hinder my progress. Another big change is that the white jammers in this mode stay on you way, way longer than in Battle Royale.
They stick you badly in this.
Yeah, so if you touch one, it's like you're going to be friends with that guy for quite a while, whether you want to or not. Yeah, so for the most part, just keep... Go ahead.
That's the main thing, is to keep that train going and to keep the combo going, because there is a multiplier. As you can see, you're up to 340% on the multiplier, and you just want to keep that at that level.
Yeah, it gets pretty ridiculous. And obviously, because you want to keep that going, you also want to, you know, build the ghost train as long as you can to get as many points from it as possible. This is bad. Okay, barely got in there. So yeah, as a result, you'll also want to eat every single sleeping ghost you can, which, since they're all in, you know, 2 convenient columns anyway, if you're going to eat one in a column, you might as well eat them all. So they're set up kind of nicely for that. But since the power pellets still last for shorter amounts of time the further you go, the later you get into this, the more you rely on the ghost RNG to move, you know, kind of nearby, because they will add a lot of time to the timer on the power pellet.
Yes.
Yeah, so even if you eat, like, just one, that will almost fully replenish the time you have left on the power pellet, as if you just ate a new one. But unfortunately, the ghost movement, when they are blue, is more random than it would otherwise be in Battle Royale mode. Or like if they had their normal colors. So I am using more conservative strats here just to make sure that we maintain this combo. If I was going for an actual PB time, which I've already missed if you look in the bottom left corner there, I would be using much more dangerous strats that may or may not actually pan out in my favor. But in this mode, it actually helps, because if you die in this mode, it will actually just respawn you with a reset combo rate, so you'll be back down to 0. And I think if I eat like 2 more ghosts, that'll be enough. So let me eat you, or just 1. That'll also work.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, so that was Pac-Man 99. You know that last mode was a little bit quick, and we didn't have time to explain quite everything, but. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Once again, this game is free on Switch, so I highly recommend picking it up if you have a Switch and Nintendo Online. And yeah, we do have a community Discord, so if you guys do want to, you know, give this game a try, if you want any advice whatsoever, myself, Faxman, as well as many others, we're more than happy to get you set up and answer any questions you might have. So go ahead and reach out to one of us if you want the link to that. And I believe next is the Electhead run, so I will be showcasing that as well, and I will see you guys there. So after this brief intermission, see you guys in a bit.
Bye, guys.
Bye.